So when you walked in the room, or I walked in the room, what was your first impression of me?
Big guy.
Yo, I know I've been eating a lot, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. What'd you think, man?
I thought that you were another representative from the woodwork here.
Okay. All right, so I'm getting my civilian status. I'm getting there. I'm getting it.
Yeah.
And then, what'd you think, man? Actually, when we met outside, when you picked us up, what was your initial impression, your first impression?
Figure out which one of you guys were the wounded warrior.
Okay. Okay. I can't work with that. Okay, I appreciate it. So, would you believe if I told you that I had cancer? Yes, no. Would you, sir?
Yeah, if you told me, I'd believe it. Yeah.
Okay. But if you just saw me, would you think?
No, I wouldn't think.
Okay. So yeah, I had cancer. So one fine day in 2019, I was stationed up at Incirlik Air Base, Turkey. After an event, I got sick and ended up being at a hospital for about 3 days in Adana, Turkey, off base. I had diverticulitis. Do y'all know what that is? Have you ever heard of that? I'm sorry?
Sort of, kind of.
Yeah, it's famously the Brock Lesnar disease, maybe, but more medically, in more medical terms, inflammation of the lower intestine. So I was beat up pretty bad, but I was able to leave the hospital after 3 days. I was able to actually PCS on time from Turkey onward to Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam. That's where I'm stationed at now in Hawaii. En route, I was going to pick up my wife of 18 wonderful, happy, and fulfilling years, and my 3 boys, ages 17, 12, and 6. Obviously, they couldn't go to Turkey with me because of the way the assignment was, so I picked them up and leave en route. While on leave in Midland, Texas, I got sick again. I had another inflammation. So this time I spent a longer time in the hospital, and luckily I had my family there this time. So one of those days, as my wife was bedside with me, the doctor comes in. Are y'all familiar with telenovelas, the Spanish soap operas? All right. So picture this. In comes in this doctor, suave, slick back hair, had that accent, had the strut. Like this doctor got it. He's straight from the novelas. He comes to us and he says, we found something. So with the diverticulitis, I was getting a lot of CAT scans. They found cancer in my right kidney, renal cell carcinoma. So, in our careers, by show of hands, who has been through Air Force basic military training? It doesn't really work for officers, though, man. But you've been through some training in the Air Force, right? We learn how to do facing movements. We learn how to do our jobs through OIs, AFIs, TOs. We know how to do things if they happen, right? No one ever tells you how to react or what to do when you're told you have cancer. No one told my wife what to do or how to react when she knows or hears that someone she loves has cancer. So it was hard. And as we got the news, the nurse that was taking care of us walked in the room, and before that we're joking and making light of me being in the hospital, and he just saw the look on our faces. I was crying, and he didn't know what to say. And again, I didn't know what to say. So eventually I got better. I was able to PCS over to Hawaii, and almost immediately I started getting seen at Tripler and elected to have surgery to remove the mass from my kidney. So right now I'm operating on 1.5 beans, if y'all catching what I'm throwing. I thought I was okay. So that was October 29th, 2019. That's the day I had my surgery. I thought I was done. So fast forward, to 2020, some stuff happened that we're all very familiar with. So it was a hectic time. In that time, I elected to be a first sergeant. I wanted to be a first sergeant. So I put in my package. And you might know this, I don't know. You got to put it in the package, got to get medical clearance. I don't know if you had to do that or not, but I put in my medical clearance paperwork for the 422, and then a week later, I get an email at 1600 on a Friday. So we know that's when the entire base is working at every single DoD installation, right? So I got an email saying that I was undergoing an MEB. I didn't know why. I tried calling the PLC number. I guess they were just too busy at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon to answer my phone. So I had no answer for the entire weekend. So I was stressed. I was very, very stressed. And the stress was worrying on not only myself, but my family. So come to find out, Monday, the MEB is because of my cancer diagnosis the year prior. So I don't know how I fell through the cracks. I'm 220 pounds. I don't fall through a lot of cracks, but I fell through this crack here. So it surprised me. On top of that, there was a lot of stuff going on in life. My family and I, we suffered some loss, some deaths in the family. My stepbrother passed. My mom got COVID and she eventually passed. Uncle passed. I had three friends, one of my troops, and another one that committed suicide. Another friend passed. Like it was hard. It was trying. And I had always considered myself a resilient person. I always considered myself strong-willed. And the minute I wanted to talk to somebody, person being my commander, I wasn't getting the support that I thought I would get. And you know, I say this now. I don't dislike my commander. I don't harbor ill will or hatred or frustration. You know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know. And some of us, we just don't know how to react to news, right? Or to react to a senior NCO in the United States Air Force reacting to news in a manner that, hey, you know, shut up and color. Sometimes we just don't have the right number of crayons in our coloring book, right? So it was hard. In that interim time, I got an email from Mr. Cisco Johnson. I was the addition to his shirt, so I was still getting the first shirt emails. Mr. Cisco Johnson, the regional care coordinator for the Pacific, he sent an email out and I read it. It was about the Air Force Wounded Warrior program. I thought to myself, I'll shoot my shot, typed up the email, gave a little synopsis of this is my story, this is what's going on. I sent it over to him. He sent me back a PDF document, referring Airman Guardian form. I filled in the applicable information and sent it right back. About 2-3 weeks later, I got a phone call saying, I'm in the Air Force Wounded Warrior program. Come to my office for a meeting. So at that point, you know, in every good story, which I hope this is a good story, there's that turning point, right? That climax. That's when I started seeing some changes because of the program and the help that it was giving me. You know, both with programs and then just those second order effects of the program. One of the programs that John mentioned earlier was the mentor program. So I was assigned a mentor. And he gave me perspective on life in a sense. You know, before I got sick, before things started happening to me, let me add, with the surgery, I had the surgery. They did a Robocop robot going through my stomach to get into my kidney. It did do some damage, some nerve damage. Lower extremities ain't really working right. Got some pain in my upper arms. The surgery that I thought did me good and saved my life kind of had those second order effects. So whenever leading up to it and with all these issues, I wasn't who I was. I used to love going to the gym. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. I love it. But I wasn't able to train like I wanted to because of the pain. I wasn't able to go to the gym, do my PT test well enough because of the pain. I wasn't able to function the way I thought was normal. So when I talked to my mentor, when he called me up actually, he gave me perspective. Not to get too much of his story out, but he lives with a colostomy bag now. Before that, he used to love to swim, to dive, to do those type of outdoor things that you would think would be impossible without with a colostomy bag. But he's doing stuff. He has grown. He's overcome obstacles and didn't get back to normal, but found something to progress towards. And through our conversation, it really gave me a lot of perspective and kind of showed me that I can't be who I was in 2017, 2013, but I can be the best me in 2020 moving forward. So and got involved with that being said, got involved with one of the other tracks with the ambassador program. Like it allows me to not only connect with airmen, NCOs, officers, civilians, like, or big A airmen, but I'm also able to connect with other ambassadors, other members of the Wounded Warrior program that have shared stories and have given me, more perspective and given me more tools to overcome my own obstacles. Just today, one of our other ambassadors that's on the ground, he asked me, how does it feel to recover? And I told him, like, it's a work in progress, because it's, I'm still going through things, but I'm better at it because of the help I'm getting. One of the other pieces of help I got was being pushed towards mental health. So, a little bit of background, I'm from the south side of San Antonio, Texas. I don't want to go to mental health to talk about problems. I'm going to go to a taco shop or a tamale shop and eat my sorrows away, right? For those familiar with Texas, and it's good food. I didn't want to go. And while I had been before in my life, I just felt like I didn't want to, but I wasn't pushed violently. I was pushed gently to go and speak with mental health.
Finney Flight, Mike Brown, bus is leaving, meet deal conference room now.
Noted. Gotta fix that intercom staticky. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I wasn't pushed, but I was motivated to go speak to mental health, and I stand before you right now. I'm actively in therapy. I have a diagnosis, but I also have a top secret clearance with SCI. I am the anti-terrorism program manager for PACAF, and I'm still a thriving member, a thriving Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force. So all the bad things I heard throughout my career, as a defender, I was an MTI as well. So I was able to do so many good things in my career, and I'm still able to do so many good things in my career up to my twilight months as I'm looking to retire next year. And a lot of it is due to the Air Force Wounded Warrior program and keeping me on this track to do what I can. I share stories to, give you some perspective possibly, and to kind of give a call to action, like stuff that, from my perspective, would be nice for our leaders to do. First, we can do anything to help our folks. Sometimes we feel like we can't. The way the Air Force Wounded Warrior program works is you're able to refer an airman or guardian, without them knowing, like we said. That's the best thing you can do for somebody who either doesn't know they need help or doesn't want the help, but they do. Because again, we're all kind of, we all come from the same thread in terms of, I don't want to say too much like acting big and bad, but we are resilient enough to overcome our obstacles when they come across us. That's our core value, personal excellence, or excellence in all we do, personal excellence, product excellence. We want to do the best. Sometimes we need that help, and sometimes we don't know we need the help. So the Air Force Wounded Warrior program is another resource for the toolbox, especially if you have troops, but then on the other hand, especially for your supervisors. If you see your commander, you see your boss, your supervisor going through a tough time, and you understand, you don't have to know what's going on to an extent. You don't have to know if it's going to fit the Air Force Wounded Warrior criteria. Fill out the form and let the good folks in San Antonio figure it out. That's what they get paid to do. It's too easy. It's too easy. That's the easiest thing that we can do as a force, right? The second thing is, get my train of thought. The second thing is when someone is having a hard time, do something for them, but just do it. It's so easy to say, hey, do you need anything? Because from my perspective, from my experience, and my wife's, we don't know what we want. When I got sick, I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted to eat. And I didn't know. But I had good folks that did go and they just did things. They bought us the pizza. They brought us the Subway. They brought us the Netflix password. And I accepted it. I was able to feed the family, eat some Subway, watch Netflix. It was SD, but it was Netflix. It was okay. But that's because they did something. And it took a little bit of that stress away. And that's something that we can easily do. We have those meal trains. We have the opportunities and methods to help. Don't ask, just do. It will take a load off other folks, especially when they're going through a hard time. Lastly, if you find yourself in this position or someone in the position, don't quit. Tell your folks not to quit. A little small story on my journey. Actively seeking mental health. Last year, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings. It's about a 20-minute drive from my house over to the next Buffalo Wild Wings because of traffic, because of the way the island of Oahu is. And got the meal, came back. The order was wrong. Mine was right, but the order for my 12-year-old was wrong, and he cried. The thing that, and for context, we just got back from Texas. My mom had just passed, and we just had her funeral, and we just got home. So I thought, in that split second, but then I thought nothing of it, and went back to Buffalo Wild Wings, got the order, they fixed it, no problems, and came right back. There's a little bit of gas money. Goes a long way nowadays, but it didn't matter to me. It was just because my family was going through a hard time. And yes, some chicken wings didn't come out right. Man, we don't know what will break us until it happens. So, later on down the week, I told my therapist that story. Almost immediately, the words that came out of her mouth were, "Oh, he needs to get over that." Like, I was ready to fight, but I shut down. I didn't fight. I didn't say anything. I shut down. I didn't want to go to this therapist. I didn't want to go to mental health anymore because, when you attack my family, that's my backbone. That's who I do what I do for my family, and I want to protect them. So I wanted to quit seeing therapy. I wanted to quit, but I was pushed again by my friends within the program to just find somebody new. One size doesn't always fit all, right? The hat can say so, but it probably doesn't fit most of our heads. I was pushed to actually talk to a patient advocate, and God bless his young airman. I was afraid. I was trying to beat around the bush, trying to tell him what I needed, but it worked out, and I was able to see another therapist who has done me real good. I don't hear the things I want to hear. I've heard some hard truths, but I need that, and I'm happy for that. I am medicated, and I do have a diagnosis, but again, I stand before you as an active member of the United States Air Force, and I'm able to do something like this. I'm able to talk to other folks, and I hope what I am saying is encouraging you to know that there is a resource, and to know that if something was to happen, that you'll be there to not only help others, but to help yourselves. Because that's the most important thing, yeah? Help ourselves so we can help others. So this concludes my briefing. Please like and subscribe. And if you have no other questions for me, thank you. Thank you for your time.